Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about my biggest strength, especially in the relation to the role I want to pursue, which is of an consultant. If I have to decide my biggest strength in one line, I would say it is my problem solving mindset, combined with the practical and structured approach. Consulting as a role is all about solving problems, not just any problems. It involves understanding complex business situations, identifying the root cause, and then providing solution to the realistic, effective actionables. This is exactly where I believe my strength lies. From my experience during my MBA, I have developed the habit of not looking at problems on the surface level. Instead, I try to break them down into smaller parts and understand what is actually causing the issue. For example, if a business is facing low sales, I don't assume it's a marketing problem. I try to analyze whether the issue is related to pricing, customer understanding, product quality, distribution, or in any internal operation. This ability to analyze problems from multiple angles is something I have developed through the case studies, projects, and academic learning I have done during my MBA. Another important aspect of my strength is structured thinking. Whenever I approach a problem, I try to follow a logical process. First, understand the problem clearly. Then, I identify the causes. After that, I evaluate the different solutions. And finally, I try to suggest the more practical and feasible solution which is required. This structured approach is very important in consulting because clients expert expect clarity and not confusion. In addition to this, I believe my background gives me an added advantage. Coming from a business family, I have been exposed to real world business situations from an early stage. I have seen how decisions are made, how risks are handled, and how important is it to balance profitability with sustainability. When I worked with my father in my family business, I have learned how to deal with customers, manage finances, and handle daily operations. This practical exposure helped me connect theoretical concepts with real life situations. At the same time, my MBA in international business has provided me with a strong academic foundation. I have learned about marketing strategies, financial analysis, operational management, and global business environment. This combination of theory and practices allow me to approach problems in a more and a realistic way. Another strength that supports my consulting goal is adaptability and willingness to learn. In consulting, every project is very different. You might work in different industry, different clients, different types of problems. I believe I am comfortable in such a situation because I am open to learning new things and adapting very quickly. For example, during my MBA, I have worked on different types of assignment and projects which required me to understand new topics in a short period of time. This has helped me become more flexible and confident in handling unfamiliar situations. If I have to take another example, I would take of multitasking, where I have to give an example of when I was in my graduation last year. I was going to my cat coaching. I was working with my father as well as I was doing assignments and during my graduation, also taking classes. I would also like to highlight my analytical skills. Though my experience with job simulations like JP Morgan and tools like Advanced Excel and Power BI, I have developed the ability to work with data, analyze it, and draw meaningful insights. In consulting, decisions are often based on data, and being able to interpret the data correctly is very important. But along with analysis, I also understand that consulting is not just about just numbers. It is also about communication. A good consultant not only find out the right solution but also communicate it clearly to the client and its team members. I have been actively working on improving my communication skills through presentation and group discussion during my MBA. I have become more confident in expressing my ideas in a very structured and a clear manner. Another important strength is my ability to stay calm and think logical under high pressure. Consulting roles can be demanding and with tight deadlines and high expectations. Though my academic journey and experiences, I am learning how to manage pressure, prioritize tasks, and stay focused on the solution rather than getting overwhelmed by the problems. I would also like to mention my teamwork ability. Consulting is really an individual effort. It involves working in teams, collaborating with others, and combining different perspectives. Though group projects and activities I have learned how to work effectively in a team, listen to others' ideas, and contribute meaningfully. If I have to summarize my strength in the context of consulting, I would say I have the ability to understand problem deeply, think in a structured way, connect theory with practical insight, analyze data, and communicate solution effectively. At the same time, I am adaptable, willing to learn, and capable of working in a dynamic environment. I understand that I am still at a very beginning of my journey, and there's a lot of things to learn. But I strongly believe that my current strength provides me with a strong foundation for a consulting role. In conclusion, my biggest strength is not just problem solving, but problem solving with clarity, structure, and practicality, which is exactly what a consultant needs to deliver value. Thank you.